Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sri Lakshmi. Today I'm going to take you through an interesting case study analysis on the topic Downfall of Anil Ambani, the Fall of a Billionaire. Let's begin to understand certain background information of Dhirubhai Ambani and his sons. The Ambani split when Dhirubhai Ambani, the father of Mukesh and Anil Ambani, died in the year 2002 without a will. Mukesh was made the chairman and Anil the managing director of Reliance Industry, which at that time was a company worth rupees 28,000 crore business conglomerate. However, trouble began between the brothers in the year 2005. The company was split into two, whereas Anil took over the telecom, power generation, and financial services businesses. Mukesh kept the oil refining and petroleum chemical businesses. So was Anil Ambani. He is an Indian businessman and chairman of Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group, also known as Reliance Group. As I mentioned, he is the son of a famous Indian businessman Dhirubhai Ambani and the younger brother of Mukesh Ambani, who was the chief of the Reliance industry. He owns many renowned companies such as Reliance Communication, Reliance Power, Reliance Group operates its business in many industries such as finance, power, and telecom. So, what went wrong? It was all because of the split of the brothers. Reliance Power, which is owned by Anil Ambani, is also credited with the fastest subscribed IPO in the year 2008. And it was subscribed in less than 30 seconds, which is the fastest in the Indian capital market. Also, once a time when Anil Ambani was counted as India's richest person, but now his net worth is zero. So, what went wrong? Let's discuss them in detail. The trouble began after the split. Anil Ambani was born on June 4th, 1959. His father had made the business worth several crores, and the split was made after the death of his father. So later, the split, Anil Ambani wins Reliance Communication, Reliance Capital, Reliance Energy, and Reliance Natural Resources Limited. Anil Ambani's company called Reliance Group and Mukesh Ambani's company was called Reliance Industries. His company has due to AB unit in India, which is $77 million, in which Anil Ambani gave his personal guarantee. In the case, in Supreme Court asked him to pay due to AB Group or go to jail. There were three Chinese banks which had given loan to Anil Ambani and such as China Development Bank and Export Import Bank of China, which filed a case against Anil Ambani, as he had a due of $925 million that was provided to Reliance Communication in the year 2012. On behalf of Anil Ambani, Chinese bank, on Ambani's plea, Delhi High Court sent a notice to three Chinese banks for opinion on filing a separate bankruptcy case against Anil Ambani in India. Separate paths for Ambani Group. This business was split in the 2005 and this was a split being made. Reliance Industry, which was owned by Mukesh Ambani, that is oil and gas, retail, telecommunication, media and entertainment. Listed companies Reliance Industry and Reliance Industrial Infrastructure. Whereas Anil Ambani got main areas of business, finance, construction, telecommunications, power generation, and defense engineering. Listed companies Reliance Communications, Reliance Capital, Power, and Infrastructure. So, what went wrong with these companies? And why did he end up in such a big downfall? Anil Ambani gets Reliance Communication from the demerger of Reliance Group. All these businesses are new and have a great potential in the future. He took heavy loans to buy big power plants. They invest in a lot of power projects. They show improper aggressiveness towards the power business. The power industry faces some difficulties that we're unable to handle, and these difficulties and their debts are raised. While they also took heavy loans to run and grow Reliance Communication, they were facing intense competition in the telecom industry. The situation got worse when Jio enters the market, which was launched by Mukesh Ambani. Due to all this, their businesses were not growing so much as they needed more cases to survive in this venture. As a result, in 2019, Reliance Communication had to declare bankruptcy. The other reason for failure is wrong diversification. It diversified its business wrongly. He did not focus on a particular business and led that business to success. They wrongly invested in new businesses and took loan to start many more businesses. While Anil Ambani failed, downfall of Anil Ambani was all a great lesson and a struggle. All these businesses in which they entered are capital intensive and they don't have the capital to invest in these businesses. Their debts are very high and their business is also declining. This was the major reason why his telecom business shut down and other businesses were struggling. And how did Anil Ambani repay his debt? Anil Ambani is looking for different ways to pay for his debt. And he had to make up by selling all his assets. And Reliance Infrastructure alone has a debt of 6,000 crores, while the company's net worth is 11,000 crore. If you look at their debt chart, Reliance Capital is 46,400 crores, Communications 47,234 crores, Home Finance 30,000 and odd crores, Reliance Infrastructure and Power. Back in 2008, Anil was named as Forbes the sixth richest person in the world. His net worth was an estimated to 42 billion US dollars at that time. But just in 12 years, once powerful businessman claims he's worth nothing. And this downfall led for him to suffer several crises, and Swiss court directs him to reveal the bank accounts of both Anil Ambani and his family members. He had to sell his personal jewelry for paying the legal fees, and his brother was also in hand who helped him to overcome the debts. That is, Mukesh Ambani executed by repaying the debts to the several companies and which saved him to not to go behind the bars. So he is no longer a billionaire, it is a former successful man went into trap of debts because of diversification and mismanagement of funds. So expansion and diversification not backed up with efficient strategy made Reliance Group, that is Anil Ambani's net worth, to fall. And this was the lesson learned by him. And he also enjoyed once the privilege of being the union cabinet member, but within short span, he entered into debt crisis. If you look at his Anil Ambani's growth in the past 10 years, sales 9.5%, profit minus negative figures 12.6%, and returns is negative 1.7%. So this is the story of Anil Ambani, that is from rich to rags. Thank you all.